tremble at your presence. Let your fire burn, let the waters fall, let your name be known to this generation, and come down. That you would rend out the heavens and come down. Oh, that you would rend out the heavens and come down. Will you restrain yourself any longer? Don't hide your face in your anger. When Jerusalem is oppressed by the nations, the place of your throne, a desolation, come down.
Hi everybody, my name is Caden.
I'm Jaden.
I'm Nicole.
I'm Eli.
And I'm Jason.
And we're 𝐤𝐄𝐄 to our YouTube channel. And it's a Shabbat.
Yay! Thank you everybody for hanging out with us, for spending a little bit of time with us. We are those people who believe that the laws, statutes, and commandments found in Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy are the greatest things you will ever read. They are things that will enhance your life. They are things that will get you closer to the kingdom trail that we are all trying to get ourselves onto. And that kingdom trail does not belong to what they call the Gentile people. The Gentile people are people who are out of covenant with our Creator. We are those people who want to and attempt to be in covenant with our Creator. And when you read scriptures, there's only one way that we are able to find out how that is. And to be in covenant with our Creator, we are told to keep the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator and the faith of Messiah Yahushua. Now, Eli, who is Messiah Yahushua?
He is the son of our Creator. He's the son of Yahuwah. You may know him as Jesus, but that is not his name because there were no J's in Hebrew.
Yeah, there are no J's in
Hebrew man.
Yeah, he was a Hebrew man. There were no J's in Hebrew, so it's good if we can get the names of the son of our Creator correct. And we call our Creator Yahuwah. Some people call him Yahweh. Some call him various different names. We know it starts with Yah. And so how we end up with the last part of that, well, it's closer than we have with the name God, which is, some say it's not a pagan title, but there are lots of gods, and just because it's an uppercase G doesn't make it personable. It doesn't make it our creator. Our creator is Yahuwah, and that is who we praise, and that is who we want to lift up. And we thank you guys very, very much for joining us. Let us begin with a prayer. Precious Heavenly Father, we come before you as your people. We come before you as people who are seeking your path. Father, we know that we have awoken in captivity. We know that we are outside of where we want to be. And Father, you have left us with this Torah, the beautiful word that you have given to us that we can enhance our lives with. And Father, not only that, you have given us a Messiah. You've given us salvation. And it is by his blood that we are healed. It is by his stripes that we are able to seek this kingdom road. Father, for everybody out there that is listening, Father, please bless them, and please open our eyes and open our ears that we are able to see and we are able to understand. Father, we ask one of the things that you told us that we can ask for and we will receive, which is wisdom. Father, I ask for wisdom, not just for this tiny ecclesia here, but for everybody that listens to this in the future, and for those who are seeking you. Father, please pour out your wisdom upon us, that we are able to seek your ways, and that we are able to seek your Son, and that we are able to find this kingdom road and get through this tiny little gate, Father, that we have been told most people don't make it through. Father, thank you for your Torah. Thank you for your Son. Thank you for your day of rest and this beautiful ecclesia and all these people. We ask this in the name of Yahushua. Amen. All right, Mr. Cole, who do we got in our chat?
We have Andrea,
Hi, Andrea.
Brother Glenn, The Grand, Judith, Zachariah Z, Rhiannon, Dredge, Ashley. She's a new joiner as well.
Hi, Ashley. Hi, guys. Hi, everybody.
And I think that's everybody so far.
Hi, everybody. It is so good to see you guys out there. And this little ecclesia is a poppin' ecclesia. We love this place, and we thank you guys very, very, very much for hanging out with us. Let's take a quick look and let's read a Shema. And again, while we have folks' attention, and a lot of folks will watch this later on in the future, and like I've mentioned before, the majority of the views come long after this tiny ecclesia. And so I only have a few moments to zap people's attention into this and hopefully help some souls find the direction that they're looking to go. And we begin in what they call the Shema. And this is for everybody who is seeking that kingdom road. Everybody who is seeking our Creator, this Shema is for you. And this is where it begins. Hear, O Yah Israel, Yahuwah Eloheinu, Yahuwah is one. And you shall love Yahuwah Eloheka with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your might. And these words which I command you this day shall be in your heart, and you shall teach them diligently unto your children, and shall talk of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up. And you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. And you shall write them upon the posts of your house and on your gates. All right, gentlemen, what do you guys think of this? What do you guys think of the Shema?
Yeah, that is what we should be doing when we get up, when we lie down, when we go out. This is what our life should be, or based around is this Shema here.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we are Yashrael. We are the people. We are not. There is no house of Christian. There's no house of Gentile. There is no house of Mormon. There's no house of Catholic. No house of Presbyterian, there's no house of anything, but there is a house of Yisrael. And in Hebrews 8, we are given what some people call a new covenant, some people call it the renewed covenant, but we are told that our Creator will dwell with us, and he will be our Creator if we will be his people. And the only chance, the only shot that we ever have at being his people is when we start to understand the heart, mind, and soul of our Creator. And we won't know what the heart, soul, and mind of our Creator is unless we observe his laws, statutes, and commands. All right, today is month 10 on the Creator's calendar. It is a Shabbat, which means it is the 7th day. That makes it the 21st day on the Gregorian January calendar. It's the 28th day on our Creator's calendar, and we hope you guys are having a wonderful day. All right, gentlemen, are you guys ready to go through these awesome laws, statutes, and commands?
Yes.
Yes, that's good. I like that enthusiasm, Kate. Thank you very, very much. That's the enthusiasm we should all have to these laws, statutes, and commandments because they are extremely exciting. They are what will enhance our life, and they'll keep you alive. And, you know, is there anything wrong with being kept alive, right?
No.
I mean, these are good things. All right, so let's continue. Let's go over these like we do every week, and we are fine-tuning these like we do every single week. And if anybody in the chat room has any kind of comments, or if we go over a commandment and somebody just out there says, hey, what does this mean, or something of that sort, pop this in the chat. We are happy to go over all of these. We love the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator. We should all know these very thoroughly, how to do these and how to properly keep these. Okay, very first one, be fruitful.
Commandment 2, multiply.
Replenish the earth.
Subdue it. Have dominion over the fish, fowl, and every living creature.
Yep, the herb bearing in every tree is for food.
Man and woman should build their own families.
Master sin.
Every clean moving thing that lives shall be food for you.
Do not eat the blood.
Walk before me and be perfect.
Guard Yahuwah's covenant, laws, statutes, and commandments.
There's a lot of those, folks. Take a look at that. That's like a couple of pages, right? We are told this. This is very, very important. I mean, if those watching this don't get anything more out of this, we are told 53 times that we need to guard the commandments, laws, and statutes of our Creator. So in that, if we're tossing the laws, statutes, and commands on the cross or in the ditch, or they don't apply to us, we're violating that 53 times, and that's not good. Okay, every male shall be circumcised at 8 days old.
Teach your children the commands and guard the way of Yahuwah.
Remember Yahuwah's name for all generations.
Keep the Passover, Pesach.
Keep the feast of unleavened bread, matzah.
There is one Torah for the stranger and the Ebrim.
Sanctify all firstborn to Yahuwah.
There are no mighty ones before Yahuwah.
You shall not make graven image.
Do not bring Yahuwah's name to naught.
Keep the Shabbat.
Sorry, I was reading the comments there.
Honor your parents.
Honor your parents. Hold on, where are we at?
24.
24. I'm way off on
Oh,
this.
yeah.
Hey,
Do not
Mr. Cole, let's go back real quick. Mr. Cole, what is in the comment on there that I just mentioned? Or I just saw.
I don't know how to say that name. Joannes?
Hi, Joannis.
So you said that the house of Yisrael is the house who meditates, acknowledges his word. So the Gentiles that abide by his statutes are to the house of Yisrael?
So here's the thing: is we don't want to be Gentiles, right? If you are a Gentile, somehow in the world that we've grown up into, and some of the confusion in religion, people decide that it's a good thing to be a Gentile, and they're like, oh yeah, the Gentiles are saved. The Gentiles are saved. Unless you're keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator and have the faith of Messiah Yahushua, there is no saving to this. And so I want to take us real quickly. Let's take a quick look at the final piece of this. Let's look at Revelation 14:12. These are the people who are saved right here, right? Here's the patience of the Kadeshim, which means the saints, right? Here are they that guard the commandments of Elohim and the faith of Yahushua. And so when we have come to the understanding that being a Gentile is a good thing, it's actually not. We don't want to be a Gentile. That makes us out of relationship with our Creator. And when we go, just take a quick look, and this was unplanned, but when we go into Hebrews 8, and we take a look at Hebrews 8 right here, there's a lot of things that we can glean from this. And one of them right here, I guess we could just read this right here. This is the new covenant right here. Let's see. So let's start with 10 right here. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Yisrael after those days, says Yahuwah. I will put my Torah into their mind and write it in their hearts. And I will be their Elohim, and they shall be to me a people. And they shall teach every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, Know Yahuwah, for all shall know me, from the least to the greatest. For I will be merciful to their unrighteousness and their sins, and their Torahless deeds will I remember no more. In that he says, a renewed covenant he has made the first old. Now that which decays and waxes old is ready to vanish away. Now, the big thing about this is that right here, it's talking about the people of our Creator. The people of our Creator are those who put the Torah into their mind. And so when we put Yah's Torah into our mind, we are no longer Gentiles. A Gentile would be people who eat pig, or people that celebrate Christmas, or people that celebrate Easter. If we're into pagan things, that makes us a Gentile. And by default, we don't want to be that. We want to be an Hebrew. We want to be a Hebrew person. We want to be somebody who our Creator has said is mine. And the only way that we have that is by when we keep the laws, statutes, and commands of our Creator. All right, let's continue on here, gentlemen. And let's go to the next one.
Command 24, do not kill.
And hopefully that helps, dear sis. And if not, let me know if I need anything else. We're happy to break in any point on this. Okay,
Hold on. Not Jew, not Gentile. Not Jew, not Gentile. We are one in Him, which is what I'm saying. We stop being a Gentile. Not my word, but the Lord's.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, no Jew, no Gentile. We are obedient people to our Creator, and that puts us into covenant. So yeah, absolutely. Okay, guys, gentlemen.
Command 24, do not kill.
Do not break wedlock.
Do not steal.
Do not make false accusations against your neighbor.
Do not covet anything of your neighbors.
Do not make an altar from rock that a tool has touched.
Do not go up to the altar by the steps.
If a man steals cattle, he shall restore it 5 times.
Yahuwah's laws for criminals.
Do not lie with beasts.
No sacrifices to other gods.
Do not oppress the stranger, fatherless, or widow.
Do not charge your brother interest.
If you borrow your neighbor's raiment, return to him before sunset.
Do not curse the ruler of your people.
Do not eat what is torn of any beast.
No false report.
Do not follow a multitude of evil.
Do not judge unrighteously against the poor.
Bring back your enemy's cattle if you find it going astray.
Help the animals of your enemy.
Stay away from rumors and gossipers.
Take no bribes.
Do not oppress a stranger.
Love the stranger.
Give the land rest in the 7th year.
Do not mention any pagan names.
Keep the feasts of Yahuwah.
Do not cook your goat in his mother's milk.
Obey the messenger Yahuwah sends before you.
Do not bow down to other Elohim.
Serve Yahuwah.
Make no covenant with other Elohim or outsiders of the land.
Do not make or use his anointing oil on a normal person. Do not make or use perfume on a normal person. And these are Levitical things.
Do not eat the fat.
Do what you say you are going to do.
Return what is your neighbor's.
Obey Yahuwah's dietary laws.
Women's time of separation.
Obey Yahuwah's hygiene laws.
Keep the day of atonement, Yom Kippurim.
Do not uncover the nakedness of your family.
Do not take your woman's sister for wife.
Do not lie with a woman in her uncleanness.
You shall not sacrifice your son to Moloch.
Do not be a sodomite.
Be holy.
Do not reap the corners of your field, or you shall not glean your vineyard.
Do not deal falsely or defraud your neighbor.
Do not lie or be a liar.
Pay your workers for the day's wage they are due.
Do not harm the disabled.
Do not endanger your neighbor.
Do not hate your brother.
Rebuke your neighbor for his sin.
Love your neighbor as yourself.
Do not diverse your cattle.
Do not mingle your seed.
Do not mingle linen and wool.
Do not lie with a taken woman.
Do not eat the fruit of the tree for 3 years.
Do not practice sorcery.
Do not round your beard or the corners of your head.
That's right. Do not cut yourself for the dead.
Do not get tattoos.
Do not prostitute your daughter.
Do not defile your temple.
Do not consult the medium.
Respect your elders.
Have correct weights and measures.
Do not walk in the manners of the nations.
Keep the feast of first fruits, Shavuot, and the Omer count.
Keep the feast of trumpets, Yom Teruah.
Keep the feast of Sukkot, Shemini Atzeret.
If you blaspheme the name of Yahuwah, you shall be put to death.
If you kill your neighbor's animal, you must give him another.
Repay injury for injury.
Honor the Jubilee year.
Confess your sins to Yahuwah and repay who you have trespassed against.
The Torah of being a Nazir.
Wear tzitzit on the 4 corners of your garments.
The laws of whoever touches a corpse.
Follow Yahuwah's laws of inheritance.
The Torah of keeping your oath to Yahuwah.
Do not add or take away from the word.
Okay, hold on. Let's talk about this real quick. And this is one of these commandments that it's so simple, but yet we do it all the time. Simply by celebrating Christmas, we are adding to the word. We're doing things that are not. Simply going to a man-made church on Sunday, right? If you are celebrating Yah's Shabbat on your day that is not a Shabbat, right? You are adding to it. We are told that we are supposed to keep a 7th-day Sabbath, but yet we add or take away from it. All of this stuff. When we eat pork, that is adding to and taking away, right? You are doing to it. You're actually breaking the commandment when we do this kind of things. And so the set of guidelines that we have as people, it can't sway to the left and it can't sway to the right. We have Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. And in these 5 books, that is our baseline for our life. That is our baseline for how we conduct ourselves, how we conduct our family, how we conduct our business, how we conduct everything. And when we go astray from that, it's very, very bad. And then it takes us into the next one, which is guard your soul. And that is very, very important. And this is why we are here doing what we are trying to do, is because we worry about everybody's soul. We worry about all of the people who will never, ever have a chance at finding the greatest things in the world, which is our Messiah and the Torah. And so when we guard our soul, to guard our soul, there's no other way to guard it than to keep the laws, statutes, and commands. If we raise our hand when we're 8 years old and say a prayer and we think we're saved all our life and we continue on in sin, our soul has not been guarded. And so it is very, very important we do this. Mr. Cole, do you have something?
Yeah, Joannis, I think that's how you said that, I don't know. Says, however, it takes time. We are in the world of deceit and false teaching, so praise to be the Ruach HaKodesh, who is patient and understands exactly where we are, as you're reading too many laws. And so, yes, we are to keep all commandments, but then what was the point of Yeshua coming and fulfilling the law?
Okay, that's a very, very interesting question here. So let's take a quick look over. Let's just run over to Matthew real quick. So this is a very good chapter, right? Very, very good chapter. Let's see, where was it? 5 or 7 here? It's 5, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which one?
It's
5:17.
Yeah, it's 5:17. Okay, let's read this in context, guys, and let's see exactly what it says. It says, "Think not that I am come to destroy the Torah or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill." Okay, just with this verse right here, what did he say in the very first thing, Jade?
He is here not to destroy.
Okay, so he said, think not. And so if we, the very first thing is, if we think that our Messiah came to destroy the Torah, he just told us, don't think like that, right? Think not that I am come to destroy the Torah or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. Now, the word fulfill means to fill up, to make whole, to make full.
To complete.
To complete, right? So let's continue on in this. And we have to take every verse in context. For amen, I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one yod or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the Torah till all be fulfilled. Okay, let's continue on with this. Now, guys, when it's talking about heaven and earth passing, right? This is our witness. If you look out your window and you can see a blue sky and you can see ground of any kind, that means that heaven is still here and the earth is still here. What this verse says is that the Torah is good forever. Essentially, it's forever. When our heaven and earth passes away, then we can say, okay, maybe the Torah isn't anymore, right? But when he says fulfill, that doesn't mean it's on the cross. He walked the Torah perfectly. Now, to have a perfect sacrificial lamb like Messiah Yahushua became, he had to walk the Torah to perfection. It wouldn't have counted, we would have not ended up with a Melchizedek priest and our perfect sacrifice if he would have gone out and broken the law. And he is always saying that his will is the will of his Father. There is no other set of commandments. And so Messiah Yahushua always claimed that the Torah was still here. It's always here. And, when we look into, say, instance, Matthew 7, right here, I guess let's look at this, right? When we are looking, let's just say that the Torah was gone, right? That it was like the Christians say, it's nailed to the cross. Well, we have a couple of warnings right here. Verse 13 and 14 right here, it says, enter in at the narrow gate. For wide is the gate and broad is the way that leads to destruction. And many there be which go in thereat. Because narrow is that gate and troublesome is the way which leads to life. And few there be that find it. Now, I've talked about this before because we live in a world that says there's billions of Christians, right? You have 3, 4, 5 billion Christians. Every religion out there calls themselves a Christian. We have a very strict warning right here that the gate to life is very narrow. And then we get another warning that says, few there be that find it. Okay, if there's only few that find this narrow gate, what can that possibly mean? Well, let's look in verse 21, because this is modern day Christianity. Everybody thinks they know Jesus. Everybody blesses you in the name of Jesus. Everybody says, Jesus bless you. They all know the name of Jesus, but they do not know what Messiah Yahushua came for, right? Not everyone that says unto me, Adonai, Adonai, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that does the will of my Father which is in heaven. Now, if we don't go any more than just that, simply the will of the Father is what, Caden?
The Torah, to do the
Torah. Right. There is Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy is the will of the Creator. That is what he told us, that if we keep these laws, statutes, and commands, I will be your Elohim, and you will be my people. Now, this confuses people, but this is a lesson, and this is a message to modern-day Christianity. Because verse 22 says, many will say to me in that day, Adonai, Adonai, have we not prophesied in your name, and in your name have cast out devils, and in your name have done many wonderful works? Right? We're talking about people that very much think that they are part of the kingdom to come, right? These people are talking to our Messiah, and they're saying, look at all the great things we did. And then he says to them, and then will I profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye workers of iniquity. Now, the right translation for iniquity is Torah-lessness. So essentially what it's saying is that if you do not keep the Torah of our Creator, Messiah Yahushua is going to tell you, get away from me, you are workers of Torah-lessness. And so that is why these laws, statutes, and commands have been hidden from us, because it is so powerful that we do have a road to the kingdom simply by following them. Okay, gentlemen. Mr. Cole, do you have anything else?
No.
Okay. Gentlemen, let's continue on.
Alrighty, we are on.
Guard your soul is where we went with that.
Learn to fear Yahuwah.
You shall love Yahuwah with all your heart.
Bind the laws upon your hand and the frontlets between your eyes.
Write the laws on your doorposts.
Do not tempt Yahuwah.
And do what is right and good in the sight of Yahuwah.
Do not be afraid of your enemies.
Remember Yahuwah.
Circumcise your heart.
Cleave to Yahuwah.
Swear by his name.
Destroy graven images.
Do not make an idol of Yahuwah as the pagans do to their Elohim.
Rejoice in all Yahuwah has blessed you with.
Do not do what is right in your own eyes.
Do not hearken to the words of false prophets.
Do not make any baldness between your eyes for the dead.
You shall not eat any abominable thing.
All right, what do we got? Let's go back.
When a believer, Christian, said that the Bible is nailed to the cross means that it is done, meaning a statement of faith. This is complete, but we are waiting for his perfect time for all to be manifested.
Yeah, and I would say that, so when a believer, read that one more time.
When a believer, a Christian, said that the Bible is nailed to the cross means that it is done, meaning a statement of faith. That is complete.
That is like something unbiblical, right? If you're looking for a statement of faith, why don't you keep the laws, statutes, and commandments? And I guess, dear sis, on these commandments that we're reading here, have you heard anything that is bad, right? Eating abominable things, looking at your children naked, drinking blood, eating fat. All of these things they're things that will keep us alive. There's nothing in these laws. If you want a statement of faith saying that the laws are nailed to the cross, that's not true. The laws are good until the end of time. In fact, they're good until heaven and earth pass away. And so if you're looking for a commitment, if you're looking at obedience, and you're looking at the path to the kingdom, you want to be proud that you're keeping the laws, statutes, and commands. That's why we wear tzitzits. That's why it's not to be proud, but it's to be in covenant with them. And so it's not really a statement of faith. It would be if you're not keeping the laws, statutes, and commands, it would be basically a statement of rebellion. And unfortunately, that's the way a lot of people look at it. But I don't know. I see what you're saying, and I grew up in a Christian religion. I grew up there for 30 years, and yes, that is what we are told. But when we start reading the scriptures, it doesn't say anything like that. In fact, it says, if we go back to that one commandment that said 53 times that we need to guard the laws, statutes, and commands of our Creator, he just told us that 53 times. We have to be very, very careful. Okay, let's continue on, gentlemen.
Alrighty, I think we are on 128.
128.
You shall give to a stranger of clean food that dies of itself, but you shall not eat of it.
Give tithe of your increase of seed year by year.
Laws of the end of the 7-year release.
Do not borrow from the nations.
Do not harden your heart, nor shut your hand from the poor.
Guard month 1 of Yahuwah's calendar.
3 times a year, all males shall appear before Yahuwah.
You shall make judges and officers in all your gates.
Do not plant Asherah poles near the altar.
There must be 2 or 3 witnesses.
Hearken to the prophet Yahuwah has chosen.
Prophet test of Deuteronomy.
Do not remove your neighbor's property line.
So it's like right there, right? Do not remove your neighbor's property line. If people say that the laws of our Creator are nailed to the cross, where is our limit? Where's our moral compass? Where is the people that are keeping this? Because these are just a simple one. Do not remove your neighbor's property line. People do it all the time. People are always trying to score that extra 5 inches, 6 inches out of a yard, and they'll move something back a little bit. But it's told that we are, these are the things that we have to embrace and love. Okay, Mr. Colt.
Isn't faith the assurance of the things, hope for the conviction of the things not yet seen? All takes a process, as you said. You were told the wrong things, yet the Lord in his mercy spared you till you learned them.
So the definition of faith is believing in things you cannot see. That is what the part of faith is. And what does James say about his faith and works?
He will show you, he said, show me your faith without works, I'll show you my faith by my works.
Yeah, and when people say works and they're talking about the Torah, there's nothing wrong with keeping the Torah, right? One of the laws of the Torah is don't hurt the disabled, right? So if that's nailed to the cross and we don't have to worry about that, then, why is that kind of a law in there? All right, let's continue on. Hi, Cindy LJ. I see you popping in here. Much love, everyone. And this is a great conversation, too. So, guys, keep it up. We're here to chat. We're here to bring this to. So
I do want to say one thing that Glenn wrote.
Yep.
It is not the Torah, the Bible, that was nailed to the cross. It was the law of the sin and death, meaning that if one stops sinning, one will not die a spiritual death.
Yeah, well, and that is exactly it. That is why when we break the Torah, we are guaranteed spiritual death. We always were guaranteed spiritual death, even back when we had Levitical priesthood and we had all of that stuff, because we broke the Torah. When we take a cookie out of the cookie jar at 3 years old, we are under the curse of the Torah, which is spiritual death. Messiah Yahushua gave us this hope that we are able to take his sacrifice and that by his blood that we are able to have a shot at this, at a real forgiveness of our sins. But if we are continuing on in our sins, then we're beating our Messiah more stripes than what he's already been beaten 39 times. We're continuing on in sin. And Paul talks a lot about that as too. We're just re-crucifying our Messiah over and over and over. And the walk to the kingdom is about holiness. It's about a different way. It's why we are called to be a peculiar people. The people of Yah are not the same as everyone else. You will see that when you meet them, and hopefully, and you'll see they're totally different. All right. How to deal with a false witness among Torah keepers.
The first child is get double portions.
If your brother's cattle or clothes are lost, and you find them, you must return them.
A woman must not wear what pertains to a man, nor a man wear what pertains to a woman.
If you find a bird's nest with the mother and the babies, or eggs, take the babies, but not the mother.
If you build a new house with a flat roof that is able to be lived on, you must put a railing around it.
Do not be a prostitute.
Do not use dirty money.
Law of divorce.
Do not take a person's millstone for a pledge.
If you lend to your brother, do not enter his house to get your payment. He must bring it to you. Return his clothing before sunset if that was his pledge.
Okay, do not oppress a hired servant that is needy, that is poor and needy.
Every man shall be put to death for his own sin.
Do not go back for the forgotten sheep in the field. Leave it for the stranger, fatherless, and widow.
Do not muzzle your ox when he treads out grain.
If your brother dies and has no child, you shall take his wife and name the firstborn after your brother.
At the end of 7 years, you are to read the Torah at the feast of Sukkot.
Okay, all right. So we got this, and there are other laws that are laws for in the land, which are things like stoning the witches, wizards, and warlocks and things of that nature, but are definitely for in the land. All right, gentlemen, are you guys ready to get this going?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let us begin into our daily reading, and we are reading the top part is called the Targums, which is another translation. Targum simply means translation, and the bottom we are reading out of Yah Scriptures, and for anybody that wants a download, a free copy of these are both at the Yahuwah and the Torah.net site. Nicole, could you put a link in there?
I am.
Okay. And you can download both versions. We have the Targums there, and we also have Yah Scriptures, which is the very first download. It is a very good scriptures, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it. Okay, free of charge. Always free of charge. Let us begin. Genesis 21. Anyone remember what happened last week, by chance?
Last week we had him basically where he lied to Abimelech the king, and Sarah was taken. Then Abimelech got a bunch of cursings, and he was upset at Abraham. They made peace and everything, and then he let Abraham stay on the land.
Yep. All right, let us continue. Are you ready? Mr. Cole, you got something?
There are many changing their ways with actions backing them up, so I don't think it's correct to be general putting all believers, Christians, in the same category. I'm not saying anything you are.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
I'm not saying anything you are teaching. I disagree, but I understand it takes time.
Yeah, it definitely takes time. And if you ask every Christian that's out there that worships on a Sunday, and we've been doing this on YouTube for 7 or 8 years, and through 30-some thousand people out there, most of the Christians don't want to hear anything that you're wanting to say, because we have been, kind of led to a couple of verses in Paul, a couple of verses here and there. But when I was in the Christian religion, we never read through the Bible as reading it as spiritual food. And when we read the scriptures as spiritual food, and we find that there is another way and another path, it becomes very clear that we need to keep these. And so it does enhance our lives. And I'm not simply saying that, you need to keep this and this is that. The scriptures say we should keep this. And the scriptures say that we are blessed. And the scriptures also say that if we don't keep the Torah, we are cursed. And so we want to avoid as many curses as we possibly can. We want to get the blessings, and the Torah is the way in. Okay, let's begin. Verse 1. And Yahuwah visited Sarah as he had said. And Yahuwah did for Sarah as he had spoken. Now, what did he do for Sarah?
He let her have a child.
Yeah, that was quick and easy. Thanks for the descriptions. 2. So Sarah conceived and bore Abraham a son in his old age, at the appointed time of which Elohim had spoken to him. And Abraham called the name of his son who was born to him, who Sarah bore to him, Yitzchak. And Abraham circumcised his son, Yitzchak, when he was 8 days old, as Elohim had commanded him. And Abraham was 100 years old when his son Yitzchak was born to him. And Sarah said, Elohim has made me laugh, and everyone who hears of it laughs with me. And she said, who would have said to Abraham that Sarah would nurse children? For I have borne him a son in his old age. And the child grew and was weaned. And Abraham made a great feast on the day that Yitzchak was weaned. All right, now we're going to take this up to a different version in the Targums. And for those who don't know what this version is, we don't know exactly what the version is. We're reading through it with you guys. It was presented to us quite a while ago, and it's just another. It was translated by those coming out of Babylon when there wasn't a lot of these translations available, and so we get a lot more details in it. And so that's what we're doing, is we're basically just making sure we're very thorough and getting everything. Okay, starting at the top. And Yahuwah remembered Sarah according to that which he had said to her. And Yahuwah wrought a miracle for Sarah, like to that for which Abraham had spoken in prayer for Abimelech. Now, the other translation, when you guys see it right here, it's only really small. And so it's all it's doing in that brackets is giving us a little bit more. And Yahuwah wrought miracles for Sarah as he had spoken. So some of them are just like that, like nothing there. Okay, and she conceived, and Sarah bare to Abraham a son, who was like to himself in his age, at the time of which Yahuwah had spoken to him. And Abraham called the name of his son, whom Sarah had borne him, Ishak. And Abraham circumcised Ishak, his son, when the son of 8 days, as Yahuwah had commanded him. And Abraham was the son of 100 years when Yitzchak, his son, was born to him. And Sarah said, Yahuwah hath done wondrously for me. All who hear will wonder at me. And she said, how faithful was the messenger who announced to Abraham and said, Sarah will nurse children, for she shall bring forth a son in her old age. And the other translation says something a little different here. And it says, and she said, what was the announcement which announced to my Lord Abraham at the beginning and said, it will be that she will give suck, because she shall bring forth a son in her old age. And the child grew and was weaned. And Abraham made a great feast on that day when Ishak was weaned. And Sarah observed the son of Hagar, the Mizrath, whom she bare to Abraham, mocking with a strange worship and bowing down to Yahuwah. Okay, so this is something we have never, ever heard before. Ever. I have never heard this before. Have you guys ever heard that Hagar was bowing down to a strange Elohim?
I don't think so, but I mean, it would definitely kind of make sense. You know, she came from Egypt. She was Pharaoh's daughter, I think, or Pharaoh's handmaid or something like that.
Yeah.
And so she would have come from pagan traditions.
Yeah, absolute pagan traditions. Yeah, I found this very interesting. I didn't know any of this before, so this is interesting. Okay, are we on?
Yep.
Okay, so we're heading back down to the bottom, which is Yah Scriptures. And Sarah saw the son of Hagar, the Mitzrite, whom she had borne to Abraham, mocking. So she said to Abraham, drive out this female servant and her son, for the son of this female servant shall not inherit with my son, with Yitzchak. And the matter was very evil in the eyes of Abraham because of his son. But Elohim said to Abraham, let it not be evil in your eyes because of the boy and because of your female servant. Whatever Sarah has said to you, listen to her voice, for in Yitzchak your seed is called. Okay, what do you guys think about this? Why did Abraham think that was evil?
So in Jasher, it talks about Ishmael. I think he's still 2 or 3 years old at this point. I think Isaac is, and it's like Ishmael was aiming a bow and arrow at Isaac, telling him that he would get everything because he's older and everything, but he was very jealous of Isaac. So that's why Sarah wanted to kick him out.
Yeah, and so she saw Ishmael, with a bow and arrow, even whether or not he was playing or not. A mother is going to be concerned, and so she had a lot of different things. So why would Abraham though be angry? Why did Abraham think that was evil in his eyes?
So he wanted like one big happy family. And like he's kicking out part of his family for like only one person can inherit it.
Yep, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's continue on. 13. And the son of the female servant I also make a nation, because he is your seed. And Abraham rose early in the morning and took bread and a skin of water, which he gave to Hagar, putting it on her shoulder, also the boy, and sent her away. And she left and wandered in the wilderness of Beersheba. Okay, now this kid was how old?
I think roughly 14 or 15 years old, maybe 16, somewhere around there.
Right, and so this is one of these things that this story, a lot of us think this is a baby or something of the sort. This is not a baby. This is a teenage boy. This is a young adult that is wandering with his mother that basically just got kicked out of their camp. Okay, do we need to go to the top yet?
Not yet.
Okay, 15. And the water in the skin was used up, and she placed the boy under one of the shrubs. And she went and sat down about a bow shot away, for she said, let me not see the death of the boy. And she sat opposite him, and lifted her voice and wept. And Elohim heard the voice of the boy. And the messenger of Elohim called to Hagar from the Shemaim and said to her, what is the matter with you, Hagar? Do not fear, for Elohim has heard the voice of the boy where he is. Arise, lift up the boy and hold him with your hand, for I make a great nation of him. And Elohim opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water, and she went and filled the skin with water and gave the boy a drink. And Elohim was with the boy, and he grew and dwelt in the wilderness and became an archer. Continue on.
Last
Okay.
verse, right there.
And he dwelt in the wilderness of Paran, and his mother took a wife for him from the land of Mitzrayim. All right, now let's head back up to the Targums because we get a lot of it, something different that we have not heard prior to this. Okay, the first thing is Jerusalem. And Sarah observed the son of Hagar, the Mitzretha, whom she bare to Abraham, doing evil works, which are not fitting to be done, mocking in a strange worship. And she said to Abraham, cast out this handmaid and her son, for it is not possible for the son of this handmaid to inherit with my son, and he to make war with Isaac. And the thing was very evil in Abraham's eyes on account of Ishmael his son, who would practice a strange worship. And Yahuwah said to Abraham, let it not be evil in thine eyes on account of the youth who goes forth from thy nurturing and of thy handmaid whom thou sendest away. Okay, let's talk about this real quick, guys. This is very interesting. Do you have anything in the chat, Mr. Cole?
Glenn said that was the first that he'd heard of that about Hagar.
Yep.
And then also that Abraham was greatly displeased at Sarah's demand
Yeah.
since he was attached to Ishmael.
Absolutely, yeah. And that, I guess that was a point you guys, gentlemen, would not understand is that if your wife, and this is the weird thing, this is probably why, multiple marriages is not a good thing at all. unless you are back in the days and you could be wiped out with a whole bunch of marauders and you wouldn't have a family, right? That was the fast way to build a family. It doesn't really work in the world that we are in. And so when you end up with situations like this, that's a bad deal. You have two of the women that are don't like each other, and then you have the kids, and it just becomes a problem. Now at the top of this right here, it says that this one was a little different, right? It said, and Yahuwah said to Abraham, right, actually, hold on, right there. Then the thing was very evil in Abraham's eyes on account of Ishmael his son, who would practice a strange worship. Okay, so that kind of gives us an idea more, besides the fact that this man is losing his son and his kind of wife, is that he was upset because his son was going to worship other Elohim. How would that be? How does he know this, or how would he know that his son is going to go worship other Elohim?
Probably because he doesn't have his guidance. So
Yeah. Well, what did you say, Nicole?
God knows everything.
Well, it's not Yah who said that. It was Abraham who said that.
Oh.
Abraham said that.
Probably because, I mean, if you look at his father didn't keep, Abraham's dad, he didn't keep the Torah. Shem taught him that, and Abraham was probably like one of the only people, I don't think Lot kept the Torah.
Yeah.
So he was one of the people, so he knew it once he left, he wouldn't have the guidance.
Okay. Eli, where are we at here?
You're on Hearken.
Okay. Here we go. At the top. Hearken unto all that Sarah saith to thee, because she is a prophetess. For in Isaac shall sons be called unto her, and this son of the handmaid shall not be genealogized after thee. All right. What do we make of this right here? Did we ever hear before she was a prophetess?
No, I don't think so.
Who do we know that was a prophet in the Old Testament?
Miriam,
Miriam.
brother of Moses.
Right. So why do we have this? What do you mean it's a prophetess? How wouldn't she be prophesying things? If that was her?
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this is something I haven't heard before. Okay,
I mean,
and
it talks about in the regular script that Abraham was a prophet, so maybe.
it does say Abraham was a prophet. They do call him a prophet, don't they?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Maybe they're calling people prophets, like talk with Yahuwah, or like people with Yahuwah. They're calling those kind of people prophets.
I don't know.
Grant says, is it Abba's grace that not much is said about Sarah pushing Hagar in the first place?
Yeah, it could be. I mean, that was one of those things. That was it's hard to blame Sarah, but it's hard to blame anyone. I mean, it was just a strange situation you would be in, and no marriage is ever going to go well. It would just be very, very awkward. But maybe it was grace. We don't hear too much about it. I don't know.
And Deborah was a prophetess.
Oh yeah, Deborah was a prophet.
Yeah, she was one of the judges. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, let's continue on, guys. Okay, so interesting here that they said this. But the son of the handmaid have I set for a predatory people, le'em leistim, because he is thy son. Okay, what are we talking? What does it mean? But of the son of the handmaid I have set for a predatory people.
I think he's
think
saying
the
A hunter.
The
Like
people.
the
Well,
hunters.
I mean, he was. I mean, Ishmael and his tribe of people. I mean, they became the predators of the stuff. I mean, he was the hunter, a big hunter on this. Okay, it's very interesting. Okay. And Abraham rose up in the morning and took bread and a cruse of water and gave to Hagar to bear upon her shoulder and bound it to her loins to signify that she was a servant. And the child, and dismissed her with a letter of divorce, begeta. Okay, let's stop on that because this is stuff we've never heard before, right? So somehow he bound it to her loins. So he just tied it
belt,
on her?
like a belt, maybe like a
Maybe.
fanny pack type thing.
Yeah, to signify that she was a servant, right? That's very interesting. Why would he signify she is a servant?
So that she could find another home.
Huh. Maybe.
I think that right. It's like masters are always looking for their servants and things like
Huh.
that. So
And then he gave her a letter of divorce. That's the first time we've ever heard of that, right? The very first time. And she went. Okay, so that's interesting stuff. And she went and wandered from the way into the desert, which was hard by Beersheba. And it was when they came to the entrance of the desert, they remembered to wander after strange worship. And Ishmael was seized with a burning thirst and drank of the water till all the water was consumed from the cruse. It's not a curse, but it's a cruse. Okay, sorry about that. No curses here. Well, it might have been. And he was dried up and withered in his flesh, and she carried him and was exhausted. And she cried unto the fear of his father, and he answered her not. And she laid the youth down at once under the trees. All right, what do we make of this? She cried unto the fear of his father,
I think it means Yahuwah, because then it's a capital and he.
and he answered her not, and she laid the youth down at once. Okay, so this lady, I don't know how large of a woman this is, but this kid was like 14 years old. This was a large man-child. So this was, I don't know how far she would have been able to carry this kid.
She should have been drinking the water.
Yeah, she should have been drinking the water at this point, but this is hard to understand. And so what this said is that they started going after strange Elohim. Right. And it was because he went after strange Elohim that the kid became excessively thirsty and drank it all. And this was part of, I guess, Yah's teaching them or going on. Anyone else have anything on this?
No.
All right, very interesting. All right. Jerusalem has this. And the water was consumed from the cruse, and she took up the youth. Okay, continue on. And she went and sat on one side and cast away the idol or the strange worship and removed her son as the distance of an arrow from the bow, for she said, I am not able to see the death of the child. Okay, so if this is true, if this account is true, she figured it out this idol was no good. Where did she get an idol from?
I'm guessing it must have come to her when she went to Abraham. She must have gotten it from Pharaoh when she left Mitzrayim.
What if Abraham got rid of these idols, you think?
I don't know, because it said that Ishmael was like practicing strange worship, and that's why Sarah didn't like him. That was one of the reasons.
That could be. That could be. Interesting. All right. Continue on. And she sat over against her son and lifted up her voice and wept. And the voice of the youth was heard before Yahuwah for the righteousness' sake of Abraham. And the angel of Yahuwah called to Hagar from heaven and said, What to thee, Hagar? Faint not, for the voice of the youth is heard before Yahuwah. Neither shall judgment be according to the evil which he will do, but according to the righteousness of Abraham is mercy upon him in the place where he is. So there's some interesting stuff, right? So even though Yah knew that Ishmael was going to become an evil dude, it was because of his dad that he was saved right here. So his dad had that kind of relationship, which is very interesting to think about, that our Creator has these kind of relationships and he will hold on to them and he will literally save the next generation, even though that generation is going to become evil because of the faithfulness that you have. And so our Creator is faithful, very, very faithful. All right, Mystical, what do you got?
Joannis says,
You got to get up here. You're not going to be heard.
when you struggle as a mother, it doesn't matter how old your child is. You will gather the strength to carry them. Especially in a desert, God only knows how long a walk and the heat and struggle. Physical, mental, spiritually, they are going through.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. The power of a mother, of a good mother that will save their children. And, that's the love of the mother. Okay, continuing on here, gentlemen. Arise. Support the child and strengthen thy hand in him, for I have set him for a great people. And Yahuwah opened her eyes and showed her a well of water. And she went and filled the cruse with water and gave the youth to drink. And the word of Yahuwah was the helper of the youth. And he grew and dwelt in the wilderness and became a skillful master of the bow. And he dwelt in the wilderness of Paran and took for a wife Adisha, but put her away. And his mother took for him Fatima to wife from the land of Mizraim. Okay. One thing is, did we ever know his wife's name, the first wife?
No.
Okay, does somebody want to tell that quick story about the tent peg? Okay, speak of it.
So Abraham casually went to visit Ishmael here and there to see how he's doing, see how his welfare is, how he...
This was after this whole
Yeah, after this whole thing. Abraham would go check on him because it's his son. He wants to make sure he's doing all right and everything. And he wasn't around. He was out hunting, and he met the wife and the kids. And the wife was saying evil things about him in the tent. She would not bring Abraham into the thing. She didn't know who he was. There was no respect for...
She was yelling at the kids, beating the kids.
There was a whole bunch of evil she was doing behind Ishmael's back.
And she wouldn't leave the tent to get him a drink of water, and he wasn't going to get off of his animal that he was on because he had told his wife he would not. And so he was just there to do a welfare check on his kid and ran across his wife, and she was there literally like yelling, screaming at the kids. It was just terrible. Continue on, kid.
And so basically he basically told talked in code, saying, all right, I have a thing for Ishmael. Tell him the tent peg is not good. You need to replace the tent peg. And Ishmael grew up with Abraham long enough to know what he was saying. And basically what he said was, your wife's not good. Go find someone else. Yeah,
so when Ishmael came back in, he got that woman and family and sent her back to wherever it was. And he ended up with another wife. Okay, where are we at? Are we done this? You like?
We're now at 22.
22,
And,
okay.
and also after that, Abraham went and checked on Ishmael again, and he said that because she actually helped him, and she was nice, said this tent peg is good, it can stay.
Yep. So he went a second time, and the new wife was there, and he said the same thing, and he told him to tell Ishmael this tent peg rocks. So keep the tent peg. Okay, here we go. 22. And it came to be at that time that Abimelech and Phicol, the commander of his army, spoke to Abraham, saying, Elohim is with you in all that you do. And now, swear to me by Elohim. This thing just went crazy. Hold on. Swear to me by Elohim, not to be untrue to me, to my offspring, or to my descendants. Do to me according to the kindness that I have done to you and to the land which you have dwelt. And Abraham said, I swear. And Abraham reproved Abimelech because of a well of water which Abimelech's servants had seized. And we read this in, is it Jasher or Jubilees? Is it Jasher? It wasn't just, there was, Abimelech's servants were like taking off with all their wells.
There was a lot of fighting over wells. They dig wells, they'd cover it back up, or they would like basically
Take
play
it from
King
them.
of the Hill over the well.
Right, and so this was a big deal. This one verse doesn't really qualify what exactly was talking about, but there was a huge thing between Abimelech's people and Abraham's people, and this is the account. 26. And Abimelech said, I do not know who has done this deed, neither did you inform me, nor did I hear until today. So Abraham took sheep and cattle and gave them to Abimelech, and the two of them made a covenant. And Abraham put 7 ewe lambs of the flock by themselves. And Abimelech asked Abraham, what are these 7 ewe lambs that you have put by themselves? And he said, take these 7 ewe lambs from my hand to be my witness that I have dug this well. So he called that place Beersheba, because the two of them swore an oath there. Thus they made a covenant at Beersheba. And Abimelech rose with Phicol, the commander of his army, and they returned to the land of the Pelishites. And he planted a tamarisk tree in Beersheba, and there called on the name of Yahuwah, the everlasting El. And Abraham sojourned in the land of the Pelishites many days. All right, now back up to the Targums. And it was at that time that Abimelech and Phicol, chief of his host, spake to Abraham, saying, the word of Yahuwah is in thine aid in all whatsoever thou doest. And now swear to me here by the word of Yahuwah that thou wilt not be false with me, nor with my son, nor with the son of my son, according to the kindness which I have done with thee. Thou shalt do with me, and with the land in which thou dwellest. And Abraham said to him, I swear. And Abraham remonstrated, that's a hard word there, remonstrated with Abimelech concerning the well of water which the servants of Abimelech had deprived him. And Abimelech said, I knew not who did this thing, neither hast thou shown it to me, nor have I heard it from others till today from thyself. From thyself. And Abraham took sheep and oxen and gave to Abimelech, and they both made a covenant. And Abraham set 7 lambs apart and separated them from the oxen. And Abimelech said to Abraham, what are these 7 lambs which thou hast set apart? And he said, that thou mayest take the 7 lambs from my hand to be a testimony for me that I have digged this well. Therefore he called that well the well of the 7 lambs, because there they too did swear.
So
All right,
that's what Beersheba means? It's the well of 7 lambs?
is that what it is? I don't know. This is the first time we ever heard of that, right? The well of 7 lambs. That's very interesting. I wish we had this in our other translations. Okay. And they struck a covenant at the well of the 7 lambs. And Abimelech and Phicol, the chief of his host, arose and returned to the land of the Philistine. And he planted a garden, lit a paradise, at the well of the 7 lambs, and prepared in the midst of it food and drink for them who passed by and who returned. And he preached to them there, confess ye and believe in the name of the word of Yahuwah, the everlasting Elohim. Okay, this is something we have never heard before. We never heard this, right? But we had heard this before in other things, right? Remember how Abraham, when he found his place, who was that was telling us that? Was that Brother Todd Bennett? When he was talking about that little plot of land that Abraham had where he posted up, everybody that came by, he fed. Everybody that came by that was in need. He would basically take these people. I can't remember who it is. We'll have to figure that out. But this is kind of what he's talking right there, because Abraham went.
He set up shop.
Yeah, he set up shop and food and drink for them who passed by and who returned, right? And he preached to them there. Confess ye and believe in the name of the word of Yahuwah, the everlasting Elohim. That's awesome. I wish we had that, right? Because that's one of the very first preachers we had, right? Abraham's out there preaching it up and teaching people, and what is he teaching them? Right? About to believe in the name of the word of Yahuwah, the everlasting Elohim. All right. Now Jerusalem has this. And Abraham planted a paradise in Beersheba, and it actually says Beersheba, and prepared in the midst of it food and drink for those who arrived at the border. And they ate and drank, and sought to give him the price of what they had eaten and drunk. But he willed not to receive it from them. But our father Abraham discoursed to them of that which he had said, that the world was by his word. Pray before your Father who is in heaven, from whose bounty ye have eaten and drunk. And they stirred not from their place until the time when he had made them proselytes, and had taught them the way everlasting. And Abraham praised and prayed there in the name of the word of Yahuwah, the Elohim of eternity. I hate to say this, but I think I'm ignorant. I don't know what a proselyte is, but he made them proselytes. Brother Glenn, anyone out there, the grand, you guys who are...
I'm gonna hope for the best and say it's a believer, or like
I've heard this word. I don't think it's a bad thing. He made them proselytes, like teachers or something, but I don't know. Maybe someone out there before this is over.
Good news was, though, that he basically, the entire thing, he was like, no, I'm not going to charge you for it. What you should do is you thank Yahuwah who gave this to you.
Yeah, absolutely, right? He took his blessings and he took his bounty, and he set up shop, and he showed people love. He showed people what the true heart of our Creator was, and that is why he was famous. When he died, kings from all over the world came over.
Everyone wept for him.
Yeah, everybody loved Abraham because Abraham was the man, and this guy was a humble guy. This is the guy that would feed you along the way. This is a guy that set up shop in the middle of the road that people traveled just so he could grab you in there, feed you, and show you the love and compassion of our Creator.
It's good to have this, because we don't know what he did for like this time between Isaac, besides sacrificing. Was he just chilling? Was he just sitting in his tent?
Yeah, he was taking care of business.
He was planting vineyards.
All right.
Grand said like apostles.
Apostles, proselyte, yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Grandma. All right. Yeah, so that is that. Gentlemen, do you guys have anything else? Anything else going on in the chat room, Mr. Cole?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Well, I think that is going to lead us to the
I do
end.
have to say,
Oh.
Genie Not of This World just arrived.
Hi, Jeannie. Hi, Jeannie, not of this world. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I guess that is it, right? This is, Jade, you want to do the Aaronic blessing?
Yes.
Okay, Jade, we're going to end this with an Aaronic blessing. And this is, basically to you, and it's what we've been told to bless the children of Yashrael with. And so, if we have nothing else and we have no more, then I guess sadly we will say goodbyes to you guys and love y'all. And we will see you guys next time that we are live. Jaden, let's take us away with the Aaronic blessing.
And Yahuwah spoke unto Moshe, saying, Speak unto Aaron and unto his sons, saying, On this wise ye shall bless the children of Israel, saying unto them, Yahuwah bless you and guard you. Yahuwah make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. Yahuwah lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. And they shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them.
Okay, and Brother Glenn just came in. I saw that. So he says, read that, Mystical.
His chat disappeared. But a person who has converted from one opinion, religion, or a party to another.
Beautiful. Yeah, so he basically converted people. He was on the road, and one of the very first missionaries that we had, the very first preachers of people was Father Abraham doing his due. And I guess if we're looking for an example of what we should be like, this is them. And, do we set up shop for others? Are we out there teaching others and telling people about the wonderful news of our Creator and the wonderful news of his Son and the wonderful news of his Torah? That's what we're called to do. All right, I think that is it, everybody. We're going to fire off here and give you guys much love, and we will see you guys soon.
I will stay. I will remain.
Shabbat shalom.
All
Shabbat
right,
shalom. We love you guys.
shalom.
Have a wonderful day. Love y'all.